Welcome to another interview presented by Alabama Wrestling Forums. I'm Jackson Bass, your three-time Alabama state champ and former UTC wrestler Clay Dent. How you doing today, Clay?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. So let me start off by asking you, what got you into wrestling?
My seventh grade year in middle school, I moved from Pleasant Valley to Piedmont, and I had never heard of wrestling before, other than WWE or or something like that. I moved, and I was just in PE one day, and the assistant wrestling coach at the time, came up to people that were in the gym. They're like, "Hey, do y'all want to wrestle?" I was newer, I didn't know anybody, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I decided to go to tryouts and see what it's about, and that's kind of where I started. Um, since I moved, I guess like halfway through the wrestling season, so I stuck with it. Halfway through that seventh grade year wrestling season, I found out that I was ineligible and I couldn't wrestle since I had moved. So I've been doing practices and stuff and just doing a lot. And I found out I was ineligible. So basically, my Coach Lamy, was the coach at the time. He sat me down and said, "Hey, man, you're ineligible. You can either finish the season with us and just practice and finish the year, or you can stop. Like, I don't blame you. You can stop and come back next year if you're still interested." So um, I talked with my parents, and at first they were unsure, and then they were like, "Well," I decided that I wanted to stick with it and finish the practice since I had already started. So that's kind of what got me into wrestling. From there, I just kept with it. But yeah, seventh grade year, and I could only practice. So I think I had one open wrestling match that year, for like an exhibition match. But
Mhm.
other than that, that was it.
I can see how that'd be a rough start for a lot of kids. So obviously at Piedmont, your wrestling coach was Coach Jack Lamy. What were some of the things that, major keys that he was able to kind of teach you while you were at Piedmont?
Really, just being a great example. He set a good example for all of us that were wrestling. He was just able to really instill, character more than even wrestling. It was more of, um, you know, what kind of man are you wanting to be? What do you want to do? Showing that he's there for us, and just being an all around great guy. Helped me tremendously, and just in terms of wrestling, we did taught us a lot of moves. We did a lot of conditioning when we first started. I remember just hating that, but it ended up working out in the long run. Um, really, it's just the type of man he was, and how awesome he was as a coach, just instilling the character first, and then wrestling.
So Piedmont, was it, I think they're putting something in the water down there because you guys have just so many championship programs at that school. Obviously you were an all-state linebacker as well as a three-time state champ. Were there a lot of things that kind of correlated between the two?
Yeah, for sure. I would say both wrestling and football kind of just correlated with each other for me. In terms of wrestling, um, well, in terms of football, wrestling made me a better football player because just my tackling got better, my conditioning was better, just my willingness to go out and just go for different things. It made me a better football player, and vice versa. Just being trying to stay in shape for wrestling too during football. So um, staying there, getting in shape, having form, I guess. Form helped both ways. So a lot of things between wrestling and football correlated for me.
So obviously you were a three-time state champ and winning it, starting your sophomore year on through your senior year. Kind of take us through that.
Yeah, so just starting out, um, I would say my freshman year, I made it to state and I didn't do great. Mainly, I was relying on a few moves and strength. Really, I didn't have much in my tool belt. So basically, me and Coach let me talk. I was like, I want to get better. Like it's something I enjoy. I want to, you know, I want to be there next year, be at state again next year, and win next year. What do I need to do? So my freshman year, freshman year summer, after the season and everything, I decided that I wanted to do some summer stuff. So I went to at the time it was like a um, Fargo style camp for freestyle and Greco. And I think at that time it was run by AWC. So it was like a 30-day
Mhm.
camp that I was doing. So it was very pretty intense, and it just like I said, it was conditioning. We did conditioning in the mornings, multiple workouts a day. About that every day, but because I never done anything like that, but it made me 20 times better. So just being able to put the work in um, made the biggest input. So that next year, I had a goal. I was like, it's my goal. I put in all this work. I'm not going to let it go to waste. So I instilled that really into my 10th grade year, winning state. And then once I won state, I was like, there's no way I'm not doing it again. Just because it was a great feeling, and it's just to see all your hard work pay off. And I just wanted to do well for my team in general, and just show them that I was going to show up, and that you know be an example for them to show up too. So um, as I forgot to say, in my freshman year when I did go, we did win as a team that year, but I didn't place or anything that year. But leading into that to 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year, winning. So,
So that championship team, what was it like winning a team title in your freshman year?
yeah, it was awesome. You practice every day with the guys, and you build a relationship and a team aspect. So it was just awesome to be a part of that, and for them to take me under their wing, and to be able to contribute, if any, to that was awesome. And um, it's different from individual just because your whole team rallies together and guys you practice with every day, and it's just a good feeling.
I remember I was at Piedmont when I was interviewing Dylan Melendez and Coach Glenn, and I remember telling them about that one. There's a YouTube video, so I don't because I never really get to talk about Piedmont that much. There's a YouTube video out there that it's one of my favorite YouTube videos, just because it was like usually when people look at Alabama State, it's not like a super exciting event for everyone else, but it definitely drew my interest up. Although I might be seeing bias because I love wrestling, but I thought that was really cool. And then I remember your guys' heavyweight was this. He was really pale. I just remember that about him. He was bald. You guys all shaved your heads, right, for that one?
Yeah, yeah,
I thought that was one of the crazy. And that the shout out to that YouTube video. I think all you guys should go out and watch it. There's so much stuff on YouTube. Just look up Alabama wrestling. Well, so Alabama high school wrestling, because then you'll get Alabama trampoline wrestling. I don't know how many of you guys really want to go watch that.
yeah.
But now my next question is gonna be you. So I'm gonna backtrack a little. You went to the Fargo training camp. obviously run by Rod Gaddy. What were some of the things you were able to pick up from that camp?
Yeah, just one, I guess some of the big things were just to continue and keeping going. Just because after the first like few days, I was like, oh gosh, is this for me? Like, we've done 6 workouts and this is only my second day here. What I
Mhm.
got 30 more days of this. I'm not sure if that's gonna work out, but I would say just perseverance and just being taught moves, really different moves that I wouldn't have gotten just through through regular practice and like I said, perseverance, sticking with it, and motivation to see some of the other top wrestlers in the state were there, so just motivation from them as well, being able to see what they're doing and strive to be like that because it was a lot of really 6A and I guess it's 7A now. But a bunch of higher classification wrestlers there that I've saw, and just it was just good to when I started there to see those guys and me doing the same thing. It just kept me in it, and all the coaches were great. They run practices and helped me out that way, and it was just a good camp to participate in.
So, the big question, why'd you pick UTC?
Yeah, so when I went on the visit, I love the area. Chattanooga's awesome. It's been a great, it's just been a great experience to be here, and it's not huge, but it's not small either. So there's always stuff to do. I love the coaches. The coaches were awesome, and they just fed into what I was looking for at the time. And it's most really I guess the most southern D1 college almost, if not is. So just being close to home, I was less than 2 hours from home. So my parents could see my home matches and I could still be close to my family, which I value a lot. So and the other wrestlers were good, and they had some it just ended up being the place I needed and the place I wanted to go.
So I've heard that you've done a little bit of coaching post college. I actually ran into a guy named Aiden Howell who wrestled at Dade County, and I was like, oh, he's like, oh, I've been coaching over in is it Higher Calling? Is that the one near UTC?
Yeah, I think so.
And he was telling me that I was like, oh, that's crazy. I remember Clay because he was my team sponsor when Spain Park went to the University of Chattanooga camp. So that was kind of
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Awesome.
So what are some of the things you're teaching this new generation of wrestlers?
Yeah, so I guess for me it's been more of just fundamentals really, because you need to get that down first before you can do any other stuff, you know. Like I'm not just gonna go in and teach you some kind of crazy throw, right off the bat. I don't think that would be helpful. So for me, it's more of making sure you know how to get in the stance, and you know how to at least you know how to shoot and do those right first before you go and do any crazy moves, or just moves that you won't get in those situations much. So I would say just like I was taught, getting your fundamentals down first, and understanding that first.
So what are you up to now?
Yeah, so now I live in Chattanooga, so I stuck around Chattanooga. I met my wife here. I currently work at Unum as a talent acquisition consultant, so hiring for Unum. Me and my wife have been married for a little bit over 3 years now, and we have two. I guess I recently had a baby 2 months ago, so we have a 2-year-old and a 2-month old, and we also foster. So we have a foster kid as well that we've had for almost a year. So we have 3 kids, 2 and under right now, which is a little crazy, but it works out, and it's a good cause. But and I also just do some wrestling camps here and there as well, just to stick with it.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I know that was a lot, but yeah, that's what I'm up to now.
It's awesome. So you did a recent clinic at Piedmont High School. How did it go?
Yeah, it went great. I had a good turnout from different schools, and was able to teach some good stuff, and it was engaging, and I thought the all the kids were great, and they did a good job um, of listening, and just being able to be get out and do some just summer work in general is always a great testament to people that are trying to get better. So I think it was great.
Awesome. Well, Clay, before I let you go, is there anything you want to say to my viewers?
Yeah, no, just thank you for having me on. I hope this helped some people out there, and just keep following the sport. And I hope Alabama wrestling keeps growing and just being great.
Awesome. Well, Clay, thank you so much for joining me. And thank you all you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay cool. I've been wrestling.